All right, Grand Rising, everyone. It's Shalonda and I'm back. Welcome back to the channel. Again, depending on where you see this, uh, um, either on YouTube at American Empress Unchained or on Facebook in the group American Aborigines Unchained. And again, this is not your mama's Bible study. And I'm never here to tell you what it is, what it ain't. I'm simply sharing what it looks like to me. So again, you know, it's funny because like all of this text is very, I don't know, it's very kind of like intimate to me. It's very something because, and very internal, right? I don't know. I feel like the word, in a sense, is like something through the, it does something through these messages, something that many people won't like because of the fact that it is alternative to what the religious aspect is, right? And so, again, because we have that religious aspect, I feel like people are missing out on very important things. And so I think that that's just what, again, this whole journey has been about. So, you know, it's like, and it's a battle, right? And how I say, like, the battle is not yours, it's the Lord's. But then it's just like, oh my goodness. You know what I'm saying? Like, in that sense of me channeling, I don't know, like all of the energy throughout the text. It's just like I go through all the motions. It's kind of like the mothering aspect and then the fathering aspect. So it's a balance. Actually, when we're talking about Adam, he made them both male and female. It gives I don't know. I guess like I've been learning a little bit about kind of like discipline and when to, you know, utilize my strength, right? And my voice, my words, the way I speak. You know, like I said, there's always going to be those two wands or those two sticks. I always refer back to the candlesticks, and the world card and the tarot. But then I have to realize with those two sticks, there's also attachments to those two sticks, right? And I don't know which way to go with it. Like if they're, you know, it's just interchange. I don't know. It's weird. So, you know, with one stick, there's this, one aspect is a feminine energy attached to one of the sticks or both. I don't know. I can't really discern. That is very masculine in a sense, right? Very masculine. And can be to a certain extent vulgar. Feminine energy, but I pick up masculine energy very heavy. And then the other side, I feel like there's a feminine energy that's very feminine, a little bit too feminine, which also causes me to question, right? And then I feel like with me, a lot of people don't get me because there's many different aspects to me. I can roar, and I can also be, you know what I'm saying, very docile, right? So again, I can have dominion over some, and then again, I can be dominated in a sense, right? And I feel like with one of the sticks, I can be, in a sense, dominant or equal to. And then again, on the other sense, the other stick, it's like they want to give me the impression that there's dominance there, but they just are quicker or wittier than me. So, you know, it's very strange. It's very strange. But the whole thing I have to look at is that they all, when I look at my energy, it is something that draws people in, those who are walking with me and that are for me, you know, that hear my voice. There is nothing, you know, they'll find something from this and they will, you know, from my message or whatever, and they will be able to move on with that without a problem. But then there's some people that are going to be in awe and they're going to be offended, right, by the way that I operate through the word and whatever, in righteousness in a sense, right? Again, I'm never trying to deceive anybody or, what do you call it? You know, lure someone in or anything like that. It's not my energy, but I can see the energy, right? So again, we're going to go ahead and start the fall of Israel, because I feel like, again, as I'm feeling like I'm going within and I'm dealing with the ancestors now, and they're heavy on me right now about like even just making decisions to moving forward. And at this point, because it feels like, again, all the surrounding energy from all the different levels in this caste or class are going to be against that energy. They're going to be against that Christ energy. They're going to be against that Yeshua or energy. And so it's just it's a fun time, but it's not because I've been going through it. You know what I'm saying? I had to kind of like slow down real quick and, just join the heart and mind to be able to navigate in that light, right? And not give up the fight, because the whole time that I've been kind of like, I've been in a hermit mode, but also not, right? I've been dwelling in a place of something, right? But I feel like, excuse me, in those times when people see that, they misinterpret that as like me giving up, right? Even sometimes I can look at it like that, and I think that's when the plot thickens, right? Because people they're wondering what's going on, so they're pulling out all the stops, okay? And so we're gonna go ahead and go into the fall, because I feel like that's what somebody wants to. I feel like that's the energy that is trying to be projected onto me right now, and I'm not having it. All right. So, okay. So again, it's personal to me. This word is almost like I'm living as the word. You know what I'm saying? And so it's very, yeah. All right. So even right here, reading the title of this chapter, it makes me think, like I said, that there's this projected energy that as if there is someone that is, and you have to look at it like this too, because the person that's going to be bringing the truth is going to be being crucified. They're going to be lied on. They're going to be all these things. And so it's very, it's very strange. It's very strange because again, we're looking at Mary, Queen of Scots, and then we're also looking at the Scotia of Caledonia, in a sense, energy, right? But again, it's saying how the daughter of Pharaoh seduced Solomon. Okay, so I think that people, because I am very multi something, that's just the energy everybody wants to protect. That like there is a dominant influence that wants to dominate over. Again, in that Empress aspect, right? It's just gonna be, because we live in a world where, and that's what I'm saying about bringing back that balance and the order to the court, because there is an aspect of a certain agenda being pushed and a certain narrative being pushed, and I'm here to make sure that that does not happen. So again, I think that there's balance, that there's not going to be favoritism on this side or that side, because we know people are going to, operate and do as they please, but for me, I'm not going to be giving up on that aspect. And I feel like right before this there was this energy of questioning one's sexuality or whatnot, right? And trying to persuade this kind of energy. And I'm just like, I have no offense against anyone in their preference. But for me, I know what I want and what I see, okay? And so that's just what it is. Right? I'm not going to let nobody influence me either way. But I'm not going to be against anybody either way. And that's just how I look at it, right? So it says, then the daughter of Pharaoh appeared before Solomon and said unto him, it is good to worship the gods, this is with a little g, like my father and all the kings of Egypt who were before my father, right? And there's this energy, like I said, I don't know why. And it's maybe because randomly, just the other day, I feel like something that Obama said stuck to me. I think I was watching a little bit about something that he's building with women in Chicago. Kind of like a monumental building or whatever that's happening. And I don't know, that energy, I don't know, something has just been, just to look at the energy lately, and that's just where I'm at. I'm just absorbing and taking in a lot right now. Okay. it makes me think about something that I said in a video about the burning bush, or bush, the first bush, and then all the way up until now. That's something, but I also said something's been off again, right prior to, ooh, what, you know what, I might have to get the numbers. I'm gonna have to start using their numbers. I'm gonna have to start using their number. Hold on. Okay, because I feel like there was like a sense of disorder or something. So let's just look. I'm not going to be able to, well, let's see. Excuse me. Okay. All right. So 44, 45. Okay. So again, 45 coming in. Right? Whew. And I'm not looking, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking at the energy. I'm looking at the energy right now. And I told you guys about the image that I saw of 44, 43, and 42. Yeah. Together in some kind of a union kind of energy that I noticed. And then, like I said, when it comes to 45 and 46, there's something that's just not there. There's something that's off about this whole thing. There's something that's not all the way legit. And I don't know in which way, shape, or fashion or form. That will be up to you to discern, and me maybe later. I'm just showing a disconnect there, right? So again, and that was coming close to the 400 years being over, and so it's just something that I'm looking into right now. Okay. So Solomon answered and said unto her, they call gods the things which have been made by by the hands of the worker in metal, by a carpenter, a potter, the painter, and the sculptor. These are not gods. Right? But the work of the hand of man, in gold, silver, stone, lead, iron, and clay. And you know what? It's also something else is making me think, because I was looking at somebody speaking at one of the buildings in Washington, and I was noticing the statues behind them, the ones that are all like a milky white color, and then there was one next to that one that was like a dark color. And I don't know what something is trying to tell me, but it just makes me think about, I don't know, martyrs or saints, or just like even people that have come. You know what I'm saying? It's just, and maybe that doesn't even make any matter or whatever, but it kind of just made it, ooh. What does it do? Those who came in righteousness possibly and were crucified, or you know what I'm saying, in a sense. It just makes me think of that for some reason. You know, someone being chained, or it's just weird. It's weird what I'm seeing here. Okay, it's hard to explain. And ye call our gods, with a little g again, the things that are not gods, but we worship none else than the holy God, with a capital G, of Israel, and our Lady, the holy and the heavenly Zion, the tabernacle of law of God. See, and I think that that's a lot of things right now, that man is using their tools and their power and their presence in order to preserve something, and to potentially, right, punish another. I mean, it's just a strange thing. It's just a strange thing. Okay. So the tabernacle of the law of God, whom he hath given us to worship, we and our seed after us. So it kind of reminds me of the title of that video that I did yesterday. I think it was the last video that I put up about, you know, they tried to bury us and didn't know that we were the seeds, right? So it's just that whole, so it's kind of like a groundbreaking kind of thing. It's like the breaking ground, is breaking that foundation, or the rose or whatever growing in concrete or in the darkness. You know what I'm saying? And if you should even trust it, right? I feel like that's the whole energy. But trust it against what? And I feel like it's something that's not holy and something that's not righteous. It's something that's an illusion, something that is a fantasy, or something that has, again, been molded or created by man or chiseled to make it as if it is the Holy One. But in order to get away from judgment and to get away from righteousness, you know, they will rather, again, create something in the likeness of God or a goddess and use that as instead, you know. And so it's just very strange here. So I'm knowing right now going into this that we have to be careful. And again, you don't ever have to think the way that I am seeing or thinking here. But again, I just want people to think. That's just it. Okay? So it says, and she answered and said unto him, thy son hath carried away Zion, thy son whom thou hast begotten, who sprangeth from the alien people, into which God hath not commanded you to marry. So again, this is making me think about same-sex marriage, because again, in that energy, I'm thinking that we're getting the perception of so-called gay rights, but in a sense, it's really supposed to be of some kind of familial ties or lineage or something of that nature, DNA, RNA makeup. You know what I'm saying? That's just what I feel like we're really possibly talking about. Okay. Okay, and so again, the carried away could be just like somebody being carried away in your emotion. And see, this is what, when Source got to sit me down, right? This could be you being carried away in your emotions by being love bombed or breadcrumbed into a certain energy. You know what I'm saying? This could be, again, losing, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying about that masculine energy that can pull and draw me back to who I really am. You know what I'm saying? So again, it's in that Adamic energy or even pre-Adamite energy is what I see it. Because again, I think pre-Adam, we're dealing with feminines that are in their masculine period. Like the image that we showed on here a while ago about the woman with America, the New World, right? They even have her very robust, very strong looking, you know what I'm saying, very masculine features and body parts. And so that again makes me think of the Amazonian women of that type of energy. So again, that's that chaotic dark mass that was found. So in the beginning, the earth was first, this, right? Because that's the energy of the womb. The birthing of nations came from that in particular to me, right? All right, so again, nobody ever wants to get back to that. They need to have a man or that energy of foreign energy, alien energy, possibly having some type of reigns or control over that energy. And I feel like this is not bringing order to the court. And I think that's why I've been feeling kind of like not grounded, but not even fearful, right? Because I know that it's something, but I feel like, again, through the fact that once you start to realize energy and all these other things and sorcery, and then that these idols that I'm looking at that are other women that are as competition, and I don't see them that way. You see what I'm saying? While they're doing all these rumor reports and all these things, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to sending that energy my way, I'm not even concerned with them. I have to just be focused and do what I need to do, right? And so again, that catty kind of energy also comes from, again, you know, it comes from different types of, like I said before, different types of people's lifestyles. Like if you mention something that somebody does, even if it's not even in a judgmental way or fashion, if you bring up something that someone is doing or someone has on their heart, they're going to automatically feel some kind of way and take it as an attack. And it's never that, because I don't even look at it that personal. It's just, again, the word. And the word doesn't have no feelings it doesn't care about your feelings. You see what I'm saying? And so this is, I don't know, it's kind of deep. All right? Because it's kind of deep. It really is. So I don't sweet talk. I'm not sugarcoating. I'm not doing none of that. I didn't come here. If they want that, there's other feminines in the so-called woke community or in the indigenous community that they can go to for that. But I feel like, again, it's to you to discern if you might be being deceived or led. Just like people are trying to lead me in some kind of direction and lure me or tempt me, they don't realize that they're being tempted. So it's weird, okay? So again, all right? And I think people don't understand the way that I can just turn on and turn off once I see some more ridiculous type, you know what, okay? It just is. Once I can see through you, then it's just hard for me. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like I can't forgive you or I can't, no, but I just see you. That's it. That's how I look at it. Okay? So, let's see. Springeth from alien people, in which God hath not commanded to you to marry. So they'll make it about law. They'll make it about what caste or class that man has created these different illusions as far as race and all this other stuff. It's to separate and categorize people. And in a sense, really, we're talking about energy. We're talking about something that's deeper than that. We're talking about the real lineage. And again, when we're talking about these documents and stuff like that, you have it where it's been, these documents sometimes have been doctored and things have been altered. Things have been written in that were not true. And so again, that's where you get this illusion, you know. And again, so this is, again, I feel like whatever it is screaming through my blood. This comes out, you know what I'm saying, that carbon, that something, you know, it just is what it is. It's a sense of Gnosticism. It's a sense of knowing. And again, you don't have to prove nothing to nobody. They either see it or they don't. And that's just how I look at it. You either take it or leave it. All right? So again, they're going to make it like that. And I'm thinking that we're talking about something totally different. Okay? But that's just to keep the division between that so-called pair, that divine masculine and feminine, is what I feel. That joining that's supposed to be healing a nation. But again, people are using it at their benefit and playing games like chess with it. You know what I'm saying? Instead of it going the way that it naturally should. Okay? So again, from an Ethiopian woman who is not of thy color, not akin to thy country, and who is moreover black. All right. So again, when I think black, I think darkness, but then I also think bleach or Blake, and think pale or white. All right. So that's very strange that that's there. Okay. So again, somebody might make that, like I said, about caste or class. That may be what it is about. Again, it's up for you to discern. But to me, I feel like, because I don't really believe, when I say about borders and stuff like that, I'm not saying that we shouldn't have them now because of the way society is set up now. Okay. I'm just saying that we just have to, I like to go back to the beginning. I like to go back to the root of it. And the root of it was that it was not. People may have been territorial, but there were no borders. There was no real legit borders put up. And that's all I'm pointing out, right? So again, if we talk about this, then we have to be talking about the so-called, they say it's 7, I say 2 continents. I see Canada all the way down to the islands as one, and I see whatever is over there as the other, okay? On the other side of the water, all right? So again, and I feel like that's why people try to project that energy of not American when it comes to me and my platform and my information. You see what I'm saying? It's either Africa or Asia that they try to project that energy, but not knowing that, again, when you're dealing with that old blood and you're dealing with that energy, that form of Asia Minor and all that stuff was here in the Americas. Ethiopia, all of it was already here. And you don't have many people speaking that way and not even in standing in it as if I just know when we're dealing with Gnosticism, because again, they don't. So they'll try to use the information that's coming out because people are perishing because of lack of knowledge, right? And they'll try to use that as their one up on someone like me, because they'll say, oh, how can you prove it, right? Because that's what man wants you to do. But all we can do is prove that education means that you've been trained. You've been taken out of your proper context and your common sense and that common way of living and seeing, and you've been trained to see things one way. And let's just see where that's gotten us so far, right? So it says, and Solomon answered and said unto her, art thou not thyself of that race concerning which God hath not commanded us that we should take wives from? And again, for me, it makes me think about, if anything, when it comes to my situation, and I'm not saying that this is actually talking about me, but it's triggering these things and I'm saying them, right? So again, for me, you know, like I said, it's dealing with that sense of that awareness of knowing that these documents, I know that they're used as a form to create a narrative, have it written in stone, because the minds of the people have been already manipulated and not indoctrinated. So it's hard to get people at this time, since we've been led so astray. It's hard for people to get to see it that way, and so that's what will get you crucified, because people want reference. They want this. I tell you, I'm just divinely guided, and I'm speaking directly to source because of the steps that I've taken, the journey that I've been on. Again, nobody wants to. So again, like I said, it's not for me to, right, try to prove it to you. I'm someone that just speaks these things, right, from the information and knowledge and things that I've taken in over time. That's just how it is. And many people can get away with that. A lot of males can get away with that. A lot of men can get away with that. But when it comes to a woman, no. Especially a woman that has dedicated her life to being someone that dedicated her time and her, to her children in her home. No. Even though we see what happened once the women started to go into the workforce. And I'm not saying that women shouldn't. I'm just saying, again, they should be valued either way. Because again, that more money thing is more material things mostly is what people are working check to get. It's just a strange when you start just looking at the foundation of everything. All right. But the more you talk, the more people pick it apart. And again, that's just how they're going to see it. Right. But I want to just make sure that women that are just that, nurturers, caretakers, and things like that, even if it's just with their own children, to try to create children that will go out and treat other children, other people the same. It's just, that should be honored the same way that a working so-called woman would. Right? That's all I've ever been trying to say. All right. So anyway, and thy race is her race. Okay, so again, this is what I feel like that whole same-sex marriage energy thing is coming from right now. Okay, that's the spiritual side of it. Okay, for ye are all the children of Ham, and God, having destroyed of the seed of Ham 7 kings. All right, so again, this is us. When I think about Ham being a progenitor of the dark races, but not the Negro. Because by the time we're using Negro, we're in the 1800s, and now we have different races and groups of people that are coming in from Ireland, from Germany, from all these different places. And so it's just like, and also even when I see Ham, sometimes I see like Spain and Portugal and Dutch, and that energy is sometimes what I see attached to that energy. And I don't know what I think when I think about like the French. It's just hard for me to discern every time when it comes to the French because I don't know. Okay. All right. So again, destroyed the seed of Ham 7 kings. Hath made us to inherit this city, that we and our seed after us may dwell therein forever. As concerning Zion, the will of God hath been, the will of God hath been performed, and he hath given her unto them so that they may worship her. As for me, I will neither worship nor sacrifice to thine idols. All right. And I will not perform thy wish. Okay. So again, this energy, like I said, that we just gonna leave that up in the air because I just don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm not discerning right now who really or what we're talking about. All right. Okay. So definitely, though, I sense something. And with this ascension, there's an awakening, and sometimes there's rapturous moments. And so again, getting caught up, even like how we were saying, carried away or caught up into something. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. Right? And so I think that, the way this looks like to me personally is like this whole everybody has been trying to get their record straight. What I say is source is telling me, you get this record straight and let me worry about the rest. That's how I feel. All right. All right. So again, and I feel like also that's the way that I'm looking at it too. Like, okay, like I said about the crown, if somebody wants to try to take your crown, because it says, hold fast and no one take your crown, right? And the devil seeking to devour, right? So again, I feel like definitely being someone that's going to leave you open to a certain extent, because I'm dealing with the word. I'm dealing with the word, and this is what I'm dealing with. While other people are getting these factors and things in order, right? So again, that's the way to be able to then quickly crucify. And at the same time, again, I feel like while I'm being love bombed, other people are being held up, supported, and exalted, and molded and fashioned. And again, so me pouring out again the way that I do with the kind of things that I'm seeing, it's consuming, right? So I'm kind of like becoming the word in a sense, right? And so it gives people this kind of honor, because we've been deceived to think because we've been led to believe something about these words, as if this person is only concerned about but I'm just saying, if we're dealing with the word and I'm telling you that that's what it is, then that's why. It's not because I want you to just look at me and I'm this, because the word is supposed to go out and be a healing kind of something for other people too. Just like when we're talking about sin and things like this, to look at it in that way. Once you feel like you don't have something, like even on my journey, once you feel like you don't have something or something's been being blocked, it can kind of mess with your I don't want to say determination. It can mess with your, what I want to say, the word. It's like an easy way for people to give up and say, oh, I sinned, so I'm not worthy. Okay, that's the kind of thing that I'm saying. So again, I want people to get over that in a sense and just try to just do better and be better to others. And, it's just as simple kind of like as that. Okay. So I feel like there is a healing aspect to hearing it. And those that have eyes and ears will see and hear. And they're going to just automatically know these things, right? And that don't mean that repentance is not a thing. I'm just saying. I think people can be deterred. It's like if you did something that's just like a sin, or then we have the deadly sins. Like, which ones is it? Are they all just sins? And if you sinned, you just sinned? Or, you know what I'm saying? We got deadly ones now. You know what I'm saying? So who made that? Like, when is this? So let's just, I don't know. This is the way I look at it, right? Okay. Okay, so one day she beautified and scented herself for him, and she behaved herself haughtily towards him and treated him disdainfully. And he said unto her, what shall I do? Thou hast made thy face evil towards me, and not as it was before. And thy beautiful form is not as enticing as usual. Ask me, and I will give thee whosoever you wisheth, and I will perform it for thee, so that thou mayest make thy face gracious towards me as before. But she held her peace and answered him not a word. Y'all, look, this is just a lot. This is a lot. I've been trying. I really have. I really, 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 really have. It's just really like, I don't know. I'm telling you, like, it's this whole energy of like all my children, that I'm just going through. It's a all my children kind of energy. It's just like, oh, you know, immediate and extended. It's just like, come on, man. And he repeated to her the words that he would do whatsoever she wished. And then she said unto him, swear to me by the God of Israel. Because this is bringing me back to the book The Spring. I was just back in it last night. It was a whole bunch of things that was just tripping me out a little bit about like hypnosis and, you know, telepathic communication and, you know, question of like mental illness for Elijah and then, you know, for Esther or whatever. And I think that that's just like the last straw when people can't control or contain you, and you are a powerful being sitting in your, standing in your light or your power. You standing in your power and exhuming your light can create a barrier between you and so-called human existence. So you do become, you know, alien or foreign to them, but in all actuality, you know, you're dealing in that organic earth energy, if you can see what I'm trying to say. Okay, so again, I think that like this energy is like her saying, keep it real with me. Don't swear to me on none of these other. And again, and that's me too in this idolatry when it deals with idols. Why I feel like that God or goddess would have been that way is because I see what they do. I see the manipulation. I see it, and it's just like with all the tinctures and all these things. And we have to think about that as far as illusions as well, when it comes to masculine and feminine, when it comes to people being, you know, in whatever sexuality they're in. It's just a lot that I feel like I'm seeing here, you know, and it's gonna offend. You can't make everybody happy. It's gonna offend somebody, but it's not really me. You got to take that up with source, and you got to take that up with yourself. You know what I'm saying? If you feel some kind of way, because I told you before, I don't treat anybody any kind of way because of what their lifestyle, purpose, desire, anything like that. I don't have time to even look at that like that. What people are saying about me and stuff like that, I know it's there, and it does bother me because it bothers me when people send it in my direction, though. You know what I'm saying? When you're sending magic, any kind of magic or anything, or in order to try to manipulate a holy one, I feel like it creates a storm. I don't know. Especially if they're being guided or protected. So then what is it to do? Then get them to be misguided and unprotected, to misstep or something of that nature, so that then they will have these open areas where you can penetrate with this type of work. And I'm just trying to stay again on my path. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. Okay. So again, I ain't playing no games. Like I'm dealing with source, and that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? I don't I can't look at anything else because everything is so cattywampus and crazy right now on this plane. None of that is, it's not, when I'm dealing with that, things get shaky. So I go back to source. All right? So again, he swore to her that he would give her whatsoever she asked for, and that he would do for her everything that she told him. And she tied a scarlet thread in the middle of the door of the temple of her gods with a little g. Okay, and she brought the 3 locusts and set them in the house of her gods with a little g. And she said unto Solomon, come to me without breaking the scarlet thread. Bend thyself and kill these locusts before me, and pull out their heads. And he did so. And she said unto him, I will henceforth do thy will, for thou hast sacrificed to my gods. Okay, that's with a little g. I don't know. And has worshipped them. Like, there's a thing of, I don't know why possession. Because even people are trying to accumulate people as possessions these days. I don't know what it is. We just got to be. I just feel like there, and that's what I think has been going on with me lately, knowing that so many people are projecting things. Really, I've been probably just like in this mode where I just have to block everything. Like the book was saying, even like go back into a form of sleep. You know, or it might be even like meditation to a certain extent, because somebody's trying to break something. And okay, so the scarlet cord, I'm just wondering, hold on. Swear to me by the God of Israel. So again, you know, this even made me think about like a woman trying to get someone to go against the real God of Israel or goddess. I don't know, y'all. This is, I don't like it. And again, I don't want it to. Unless it's just like, no, because it said like my father before. Unless she's just saying, you know, I don't want to play no games. It's just like, you know, don't swear to me on these particular types of gods. You know, like, again, because we're dealing with, you know, gods with little g's on this plane right now. This is very, yeah, and I don't want to say anything that I want, no, so we're just going to read through it. We're just going to read through this. And again, because I just really have to wrap my head around this one. Because right now, there's this energy, like I said, around me, where it feels like there's another divine feminine trying to step into my, like, even like if trying to step into my skin or something. It's like I shed off old skin, right? To renew myself again, right? And cleanse myself in a sense. And it's like somebody's trying to put that on and then also come after me with the new, you know, it's like a consuming kind of energy. And that's what, so again, it makes it so that I feel uncomfortable just being myself and doing the work that I do, because I feel like I'm feeding the very beast that wants to come in and consume me as if I didn't even exist. Do you see what I'm saying? And it's a feminine energy that's, again, connected to one or both of those masculine entities, or the candlesticks, or the two sticks. It is, and again, this whole time, this is what I feel like that one, there was a story about a Indian girl, and she had like 6 or 7 brothers. And it was just maybe I'll put the link to the video that I watched. Okay, because I read up on it, but the video was very, I went right back to the video because it's very telling. So, you know, it's almost like that energy too about somebody not wanting to be, oh, y'all. Maybe even she had an inheritance to a certain extent, and the brothers didn't want to, because they had this type of power or something. They were able to, you know, manipulate her situation and make her marry somebody that she did. You know, so it just was this whole thing that, again, it's all this information coming, so I just gotta. Okay, all right. Whew. All right, there's a lot right here. Okay. Okay. All right. So, without breaking the thread, okay. This is so weird. I will henceforth do thy will, for thou hast sacrificed to my gods, with a little g, and hast worshipped them. He had done this because of the oath, of his oath, so that he might not break his oath which she had made him to swear. See, this even makes me think about a death to someone. And I don't know why it make me think about a feminine coming after me. I told you it has that Rehoboam energy, and I'm just using these as general references, right? To take you back to a place, right? Sending someone in as a spy. The girl is not as bad as they say, and he catches her eye, or she catches his eye, or whatever. And then they don't want to do the oath, but they don't want to break it either, and so they stay away. And, I'm just getting this energy. Someone wants to remind someone of that had been taken. Mm. And again, in order to get into that house, this is possibly, let's just keep moving. Again, I'm never here to tell you what it is or what it ain't. We're doing this. This is like a living word, and it's kind of like visions and like all the stuff is coming to me from all the information. And so again, I don't want to, but this is a very tricky energy here, and it's also even making me think about the ribbon or whatever that's around the body of the girl when it comes to the world card in the tarot deck. Right? Because even, yeah. Right? Because I mean, we all have a certain nature. You know what I'm saying? It's just, we have a nature of dealing with each other, especially when it comes to male and woman. But it's just, do you want to, are you trying to create something of a scheme or something, or you just, is it just a natural thing and people are wanting to do it, be natural, or let it go with the will of God? Okay? Right? And then there's others that know what the will of God is and know who the children of God are, and so they are targeting them or either surveilling them so that they can either destroy them or take the essence of those children and create it in a different form or fashion. Because again, those that are really in that, about that life, are not going to be moved. They're not going to really care. They will die knowing. You see what I'm saying? They will let the people crucify. I don't care what you're saying. I see what you're saying. What you're saying affects me, but not in the manner and the way you want it to. And that's that whole thing about knowing thyself and not being moved. Yeah, you might even be able to put something in front of my foot. I might trip on it for a second, but no. Because I still have my faith, and because I know what I know about, and it's just it's just a rush of emotions dealing with source these days. And it ain't nothing nobody on this earth can tell me that I'm not dealing with that. And that's just what it is for me. And it's a joyful, it's a very loving, it's a very, it's hard. But when you have those days and you can't look to nobody else on this planet, looking there it grounds me and pulls me back together whole. And I never thought I used to, I never thought I would see that, especially even just like dealing with church, because I always thought it was like so, in some of these places, so like it was empty, what I saw the people doing. Even speaking in tongues, it was something empty about it. But then those same people you saw doing all that, they must look at you today, and you know what? I don't know. It's just, I don't know. The real fullness of it. Because we say a lot of things, oh, God is good, but you can't really think, because God ain't good all the time. Sometimes he comes and destroys. So, you know what I'm saying? Just saying that's a dishonor to me. But so I just like to take things how it is and look at the way it is. Okay? So it says, God hath commanded, this is God with a capital G, the children of Israel, saying, ye shall not marry strange women. Okay, so again, God said that. And wait a minute. So even this is making me think about same-sex marriage in the... And see, it's almost like people are throwing knives, but they're also taking the information. So I can't be moved on how I see things and how I feel, because I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't. This whole thing about strange women, there's so many different aspects to it. Ye shall not marry strange women, that ye may not be corrupted by them through their gods, and through their wickedness of their works, and the sweetness of their voices. Y'all. And it is, we gonna stop. We gonna stop right there. We gonna stop. I gotta breathe real quick before we go here. Let's look real quick. Let's look. Because this is deeper. We're going to look up voices real quick and then we'll come back. To be commonly said from voice, to express, to give utterance to. A feeling, opinion. Sound made by a human mouth. A voice, speech, word, saying, rumor, report. Oh, damn, didn't we just say this? Yeah. And I think, well, I probably already went over these words several times already. It's just sometimes I forget and I have to look again. Sound, utterance, cry, call, speech, sentence, language, word. Okay. All right. To speak. Ability in a singer. Which brings me back to that Kelly Price energy. Okay. Oh, okay. All right, I see. So there's some duality to this. There is some duality here, I feel. Okay. And also, let me go ahead, because this one's very specific here. Invisible spirit or force that directs or suggests. In the context of insanity. Hear voices in one's head. You see this shit? Do you see this? Do you see this? Y'all, do you see it? Do you see that? You see what I'm saying about that which is organic, and that's what's under attack. And again, when we have, okay, let's just finish it off just like this. Because again, I feel like the setting of the snares is what it is. Sending out that energy, but we're able to look at it we're really able to not judge in that sense and just look at it in a non-biased fashion and let it speak for itself, right? So just and I feel like that's why it's just like, oh, when we do it this way, it's like someone saying, got you, but I see you, see? And that's the thing. That's so funny to me. That's the thing that's so funny to me. So again, since we're talking about the fall of Israel, we have to be careful what we're talking about, because there's a deceptive measure and there's the true organic form. There is that which is an idol that has been created to look like God or in the likeness of that energy. And then there is that is. So I think what man wants to do is say, hey, if God is not going to be able to be open and be accepting of everything like I'm saying, then we're going to go ahead and shut God down. It's time to move with the new. And we're saying, hey, it's always best to go back and study the basics. Let's go back to the root of things. But I feel like there's a way where a certain energy on this planet has found another way to populate and pollinate and populate, right? And so again, we don't have to honor that of old, but I think it's wrong. And that's all I'm going to say. I think that we know this something. That's deep. I ain't even going to finish reading that. We're going to come back with this. We're going to come back. So I'll see you guys. I'm going to take a break and we're going to come back to that, because when I see the snare being laid, I have to halt. From now on, I used to be able just to go through it, and we're going to do it the same way we're going to do it. But I had to stop for a second because I see what I see. Take care. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe, and join us in the Facebook group American Aborigines Unchained, or again on the You can find me on Instagram at Shay_seeking, or you can also, find me again on YouTube at American Empress Unchained. But we about to dissect that, because the thing that Source and the ancestors is telling me is there's somebody, you're not just, no, there's somebody that is wanting to be you. So this is a plan. This is something that's not just whatever. Somebody is forming or creating you. Use. Many. And that's why I've been kind of like feeling like I want to preserve myself, but doing that could be the wrong thing by not speaking and not still continuing to do what Source has me doing. It's like my way of fighting back using the word. They just leave me there, and that's what we do. And so anyways, y'all, I kind of can't wait to get into this, so I'm gonna take my break real quick, and then I'll be right back. Take care.